Welcome to Magic on Tap, the Magic the Gathering and Beer Review podcast. I'm Jack.
And I'm Xavier.
And today we're talking about Phyrexia All Will Be One, which I'm very fucking excited about.
Yeah, I heard it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. But first,
yes,
we gotta check in our beers that we're gonna be drinking.
Yep, doing the barkeep upkeep. So, Jack, what you got?
I have... also, again, I always forget this. We have a theme, or at least I have a theme.
I have a theme as well.
Prompt. The theme is hazies for beers because all will be one, and hazies are all the same. So,
yeah, haha, take that, hazies. You like that?
Shots fired, you fucking bitch.
Fuck you guys. Our one listener, Anderson. Actually, shout out to Anderson. Thank you for leaving a cool comment on our YouTube video. It was very constructive feedback, and we appreciate it.
He has a head injury.
He does, and I hurt his head, and I apologize for that. I know I'm the host who can't control their volume. So we will get better about equalizing that. By which I mean Jack will figure it out. I will continue to be loud, but I'll try my best not to be.
So anyway, hazies. So my first one, I have We Are One.
Really?
It just fits perfectly.
That's like double flavor, yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's meant to be like fucking supporting the LGBT, because it has a rainbow on it.
Oh, okay.
But like, We Are One. I'm gonna choose to believe it is Phyrexian beer.
That's the sequel to the Phyrexia set. It's All Will Be One. We Are One. They did it.
It's We Are One. Yeah, it's done.
We're all Phyrexians here.
Yeah. So while I'm cracking that, you want to tell me about yours?
Yeah, I have an Untitled Art double dry hopped hazy IPA, and they don't really have beer names, so it just says what it is. Sick. And that's it. Yeah. It's from Waunakee. They're from Waunakee, Wisconsin. Untitled Art is kind of distroed everywhere. If you did the Dry January thing, you probably had one of their non-alcoholic IPAs at one point, which are very good. I'd say they make some of the best non-alcoholic beer. But also, just drink a beer or don't. If you want loose calories, just go fucking eat McDonald's. It's better than wasting it on a fucking non-alcoholic beer. So, how's your beer tasting?
All right. It's not super great. It's like kind of watery. Yeah, it's not super flavorful, which maybe I appreciate because I don't really like hazies in the first place. So, let's say it's more drinkable, but it's kind of watery, so...
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would prefer that
yours?
over something super thick and chewy, and you need a fucking fork and knife to get through it.
I hate that.
Mine is pretty good, actually. It's pretty juicy, as the kids say. Citrusy.
Juicy.
There's not a whole bunch of particulates and shit floating around in it, so I'm thankful for that. It's not over the top. It is just a hazy IPA, and that's
that's what all hazy IPAs are. They're just hazies.
Yep. And that's it. That's all I got to say about it. So,
all right.
You ready to go to the Untapped step?
Yeah. I bought singles of cans, so buy singles of cans and of cards.
Yeah. I mean, unless it's really good. Unless it's like Phyrexia All Will Be One, then just
All
buy
Will Be
a box.
One is pretty good, so yeah, maybe buy a box of that. Like, I bought a box of it.
I bought a box. I also bought a single pack.
Yeah. So, like, buy singles of the stuff that you want, unless it's, like, a really good set, like All Will Be One.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So...
Untapped step. What is that?
The Untapped step is where we look at stupid reviews on Untapped. And if you don't know, which I'm sure everyone, our one listener, Anderson, callback, does by now, but Untapped is a kind of cool platform where you can give beers ratings that you've had and get suggestions for new ones and stuff, and find stuff nearby. But people are dumb and use it wrong. We're the only ones who know how to use it correctly, and we'll display that when we go over these stupid reviews from people.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right.
So what you got
Moving
first?
on. I have a review from Beer Doctor. He checked in at Hip and Hops Brewery and Oyster Bar, which is quite a combination of words. And he said he gave it 2.5 stars. Oh, nice. Getting started early. And he said, flavored water, bittered style. Tongue feels it! Exclamation point. ... But I could see this popular in Atlanta.
What? Oh, wait, is it because of the can? Is that why?
Maybe? I don't know. Is that, like... I don't really get that last part.
Yeah.
It's not wrong. It is very watery. Not super great.
Yeah, but Atlanta, that seems so arbitrary to me. I could just say that about anything.
Yeah. So, weird. Oh, and oh, wait. I forgot to mention, this didn't say this on the can. The brewery is Hip and Hops, but it doesn't say, like, and Oyster Bar on the can, so I just didn't put that together.
Oh, there you go.
Wow, that's interesting.
Ooh, wow.
Wait. I forgot to look. Is it in Atlanta? It's in Atlanta.
Wait, so that makes what he's saying make even less sense. I think.
Yeah, it's a little weirder.
I mean, he would have to buy it outside of Atlanta.
Yeah.
Weird.
Anyway, next review by Beer Doctor at Hip and Hops Brewery and Oyster Bar. 2 stars. Is it possible for an IPA to have no taste? Didn't think so. It's the same person. That's the same person on 2 accounts. Made the 2 reviews back to back, same day, same timestamp.
But why?
Like, what?
One is their burner Untapped account.
Yeah. Why? What's the point? Just, you can say you didn't like it once. That's so weird.
Maybe they were an ex-employee or...
Yeah, they're disgruntled.
Right. That sounds very disgruntled to me.
Yeah, maybe. And, most of these reviews are like 4 stars, which I disagree with, but... Because I'm the only one... Well, we're the only ones who know how to use Untapped correctly.
Yeah.
But that's all I got. All the other reviews are boring, and there aren't that many of them, so what do you have?
Cool. I have one from Nick DeConing, checked in at Octopi Brewing, and he gave it 3 stars out of 5, and he just says, "Make the beer!" Exclamation point.
Yeah!
Making a beer! Our next one is from Bob Makaha, Makaha, Makaha.
All right.
And he says, keeping it local to the key, because it's from Wanakee, so he did apostrophe K-E-E. Nobody calls it that. Also, you can't say that. You cannot say that in Wisconsin, because there's Wanakee and Milwaukee and Pewaukee and, like, a lot. So that doesn't mean anything to me. Anyway, he said, keeping it local to the key, love me some DDH, super smooth, 4 to 5 stars. DDH means double dry hopped for people that aren't familiar with acronyms. And up next we have Rusty Tawny, who sounds like he should be driving a stock car. And
Oh, yeah, I was thinking like a big rig or something, but
yeah, right. And he says he gave it 3.75 stars out of 5. It says, as safe as 8% can be.
what exactly does that mean?
I don't know. It means exactly what he said. It is as safe as it can be because it has to be, because it is. If you think about what I said, none of that is wrong, which is the worst part. And that's all I got for this Untapped Step. So, yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Let's move on to the first main.
Cool.
Hey, guess what? It's a set review as far as we actually do set reviews.
Yep, but we're doing something a little bit different today. We are, for our one listener, Clarice, who has been checking in every episode, we're doing a new kind of segment to just break up the, holy shit, I forgot what this is called, the main phase. To break up the main phase a little bit, just so we're not rambling as much. We're still going to ramble, don't get us wrong.
Oh, yeah, don't worry. I know you came here for the rambling.
Right. It's more focused, so we're going to be doing the Power 9. So if you're not familiar with the Power 9, you really fucking should be. It is like Magic's most powerful cards from Alpha Beta. I mean, most powerful cards in Magic in general. So we're just going to be picking 9 cards from the set that we think are bomb and talking a little bit about them. And today, we each have our own list. We might do collaborative lists if we pick more of the same cards. Just so we're not doubling up on stuff. But yeah, I think it's worth mentioning that we're just going to exclude some right out the gate just because it's so obvious that these cards are powerful. It's a joke.
Honorable mentions.
Yes, honorable mentions. So that would be, Mommy Machine Mommy.
Mommy Machine.
Yeah, Elish Norn, MOM. Is not going to be included in either of our lists because obviously she's really fucking good. And just so you know, Elish Norn, Mother of Machines, holy shit.
Nice.
4 colorless, 1 white pip for a 4/7 with Vigilance. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes the triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Permanents entering the battlefield don't cause abilities of permanents your opponents control to trigger. What the fuck? That is what that says. Okay.
That's what that says, yep. Yeah, so any ETBs for your opponents just don't work.
Oops.
Oh, didn't I do that?
Yeah. Pretty good.
Yeah. So we're also not talking about the Dominussy, so there's, a cycle for one of each color of those. Obviously, those are all good. I don't think we need to go all through them unless you want to.
No, also, I'm so sorry, but you said Dominussy, and I immediately thought of Dominusses, and it just made me think of that Christmas song. It's like, no Dominussy or silly Dominusses. All I want are hippopotamuses. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, and we're not. Well, I don't know if you said it already. We're not going to talk about reprints. So Phyrexian Obliterator, Phyrexian Arena out. Mm-hmm. We all know that those cards are already good already. They have existed already. We've seen them.
Yes.
So, knowing that, Jack, what do you got for your 9?
So these aren't in any particular order because I thought that ordering them would be a fucking nightmare. So. Just go with the first one I have open here. Staff of Completion. Hold on.
That's what they call me.
Oh, god damn it. Jesus Christ. Alright. Staff of Completion. 3 mana for an artifact. It has 5 abilities. You can tap, pay 1 life, destroy target permanent you own. Love that. Tap, pay 2 life, add 1 mana of any color. Tap, pay 3 life, proliferate. Tap and pay 4 life to draw a card, and then you can pay 5 mana to untap it. So, I picked this because I think that this card is going to be slept on. It's 3 mana essentially for 4 different effects that are all pretty powerful. With the first one, destroy target permanent you own, it seems at first glance like that's not very good. But if someone like steals your commander or like puts pacifism on it or something, you can. It's a way to get your commander back into the command zone so that you can cast it again.
Right. Also, as I say, it goes hand in hand with the Black Dominus, who cares about death triggers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's that, and you don't have to pay mana to do these. Like Staff of Domination, those all cost mana, but it's just paying life. And in Commander, I mean, life is always a resource, but in Commander especially so, because you start with 40. So if you can get this out early, you can get a lot of value out of it.
Yeah, I mean, even paying 3 to tap and draw a card is good. Even if, like, I would put it in a deck just to use that one ability.
Yeah, it's 4 life, but yes.
Oof, rough. Maybe not. But
like,
it's still an option. Why not? Fuck it.
Yeah, well, and again, I mean, in a 60 card format, you might not want to run it. I mean, unless you have a lot of life gain or something, because 4 life out of 20 is a lot more significant, and the games go by quicker. But I think in Commander, this could be a really good card.
Yeah, you know, it's finally. I'm always looking for a way to get rid of my anger and get it in the graveyard without having to discard or mill it. So, hey, it just speeds that up. Shoot him in the face. Fuck it.
That's a way to do it, and I think there are going to be more things that are discovered about this as time goes on. I don't think that we even know what it can do.
Yeah, there's definitely. It's one of those cards that will unlock a piece, if not now, later when they print more cards, and suddenly this card gets way better.
Yeah.
So that's a cool one. All right, do you want to trade off, or you just want to go down your list? I'll go down mine.
Let's trade off. Go ahead.
Okay. I got also. I don't think we're ever going to do this in a specific order because it would be forever to pick the number 1 card. So mine is not in particular order as well. I'm going with Vraska Betrayal's Sting. Not just because I pulled her out of a pack or out of a booster box today, but it's a pretty good card. Vraska.
It's pretty good.
Hey. 4 colorless, 1 black pip, and 1 black Phyrexian. She's a legendary planeswalker. She comes in with 6 loyalty counters unless you do the completed thing, so you can pay 2 life instead of black if you pay 2 life for that mana cost. She comes in with 2 fewer loyalty counters. Her first ability is 0. You draw a card, you lose a life, and proliferate. So, even if you don't have any other counters to proliferate in anything, you proliferate Vraska. That's the whole point. So, it's her 0 ability is really like a +1.
Yeah, and you draw a card.
Yeah, and you lose a life. Which is good. That's just a good ability.
It's just great.
Her -2, target creature becomes a treasure artifact. With tap, sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color, and loses all other card types and abilities. It just becomes a treasure.
It just is a treasure now.
So, even if you have her if you pay the full 6 mana, she comes in with 6 counters. If you pay the 5 and the 2 in life, she comes in with 4. So you can still -2 her right away, and you still have 2 counters left. And you just make something a treasure.
Yeah. I think it's pretty good. The only thing is, like, she is a little bit expensive for that.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. If you have her, I really care about the proliferate. Like,
yeah,
that's probably why. If you're gonna include her, you're gonna include her probably for the proliferating card draw, or her -9 ability, which is if target player has fewer than 9 poison counters, they get a number of poison counters equal to the difference. So
what the fuck?
That means, hey, if they don't have 9 poison counters, they get 9 poison counters. and then you proliferate.
Yeah.
And kill them.
Yeah.
Sudden infect death.
You're probably going to have this in a deck that has a lot of proliferate anyways, so that's like just ridiculous.
Yeah, right. She can almost ace someone immediately. It's like -9, you're dead. Also, like, we're going to talk about it more, but infect is fucking dumb. I wish it was 15 and not 10.
Yeah.
Or 13 or something. Just more than 10. 10 is so easy.
Or 28.
Yeah. Or 28. Or 20. Or whatever. 20 would be pointless. But
No,
13.
Pointless.
Give me 13. Even those 3 more. That's like 1 more turn. Maybe.
Yeah. It's like pretty easy to get an infect kill. Oh, toxic does slow it down. But
right. But
yeah.
I don't know. Toxic's weird then too because okay, I guess we should just talk about this. Old infect, it would have creatures deal damage, not even just combat damage in the form of -1/-1 counters, and to players it would be poison counters. So old infect was really fucking broke, super broken, because you could have all these weenies that had infect and they would just kill everything eventually because you would give stuff -1/-1 counters. So with toxic, you're not giving out the -1/-1 counters, and players only get poison counters when they're dealt combat damage, and they only get 1 poison counter for however many combat damage, depending on the level of toxic. So if it's toxic 2, they get 2. If it's most things are toxic 1. I saw a creature that had toxic 6. That's dumb.
Yeah, there's that.
But yeah, so it is slowed down infect, and it's so funny to see what they've done with Phyrexians in general. It's like the Defilers that had way worse Phyrexian mana, and now they have toxic, which is like worse infect, and they have power stones, which are worse treasure tokens, but all that other stuff that they're like trying to make better is still allowed. You can still play that.
Yeah.
It's just not standard for the standard peeps, but guess what? Toxic is going to get way out of hand in standard anyway. If you're playing standard, if you're playing standard seriously and you're not running toxic right now, then I don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my one. What do you got for number 2?
Number 2, I have the Eternal Wanderer. So, for 2 white and 4, to Planeswalker, no name, just a Planeswalker. She enters with 5 loyalty. She has a passive that says no more than 1 creature can attack the Eternal Wanderer each combat. Her +1 says exile up to 1 target artifact or creature and return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of that player's next end step. Her 0 is create a 2/2 white samurai creature token with double strike. What the fuck? -4 is for each player choose a creature that player controls. Each player sacrifices all creatures they control not chosen this way. What? So she can come in and make everyone sack all but one of their creatures immediately and still be alive.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Pretty good.
So I think the Wanderer is going to be pretty good again. She does cost a little more. She costs 6 mana total. But, I mean, all of her abilities are good. Like, you can exile a threat for her +1. You can create a 2/2 with double strike for her 0 ability.
Yeah.
That seems ridiculous.
And it's a token in white, so, I mean, we're just fully in the world now where green-white or green-white-red Cabaretti is fucking making all the tokens, so copying all the tokens. That's good.
And then only one creature can attack her each combat. So if you have one blocker, she's just basically unkillable.
Perfect.
Yeah, that shit's like... I think that's going to be really fucking good.
Oh, man. That makes me want to make... We should both make 1v1 samurai decks where we both swing with one creature at a time every combat. Just play the same game for like 4 hours. I like the last Wanderer too, Wandering Emperor and Neon Dynasty. It's fun. It's just different. It's a planeswalker that you can just put in any white deck and it is just good. It's like an
it will always be good. Like flash and you create a fucking or like exile their attacker or whatever. Yeah, crazy.
Right. It was like Soren Markov in black where you just threw him in because bang bang boom, somebody's life total is 10 now. He comes in for 6, you make someone's life total 10. You're like, all right.
Get fucked, nerd.
And he still lives, I think. I don't even think he dies from doing that.
Does he not? Hold on.
I don't think he does.
That's just Soren Markov, right?
Yeah. And his, like, plus ability.
Yeah, no, you're...
It's a +2 and it does 2 damage and you gain 2 life. So it's, like, he's dumb. Soren Markov is stupid.
He's real dumb. Oh my god.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, Jesus Christ. What's your next one?
Number 2, I got Koth, Fire of Resistance, another Planeswalker. I did like all the Planeswalkers that came out this set.
There are a lot of Planeswalkers, as it turns out.
Hey. Koth is, I will say, out of all the Planeswalkers in the set, he's definitely not the strongest. There are weaker ones. I forgot what her name is, but she's black-white and costs 7 to play and is just...
Kaya?
Yeah. Bad. That seems bad. I'm never gonna ever play that card.
Kaya's pretty fucking good, actually. I think Kaya's good, but anyway.
Okay, but not for 7.
7 mana is kind of a lot.
For 7 mana, I want to play a big fat sorcery that's gonna rearrange my fucking opponent's face, not a planeswalker.
Yeah.
Anyway, Koth, Fire Resistance, 2 colorless, 2 red pips. He's got 4 loyalty when he enters. His +2, search your library for a basic mountain card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. That's a huge reason why I picked him, because... no other comments.
Because...
Yeah. Being able to search for land if you're running a mono red deck is awesome. It's so hard to do. You can't exactly ramp in red. You have to do the impulse thing where you're exiling cards, playing them, or you have to discard and draw 2. It's just cool to have something that's like, look for a fucking mountain. And yes, this is a mono red card. His -3, Koth deals damage to target creature equal to the number of mountains you control. Typical Koth thing to do. And -7, you get an emblem with whenever a mountain enters the battlefield under your control, this emblem deals 4 damage to any target. He starts off at 4. He has a +2 ability, so you're almost there after 1 turn. I don't know. He's obviously going to get stuffed into landfall decks. It seems like that's what he's really, really made to do. But I do like him as just a solid mono red include. And I've always had a weird sweet spot for mono red, which sounds douchey. I promise I'm not the kid running burn decks. It's fucking horrible. But there's a lot of weird chaotic elements that live in red, and it's usually have to splash in black or something else to be able to pull them off. It's really difficult to do just in mono red, but I want to go full chaos mono red, and I think Koth would be great because he'll get me lands, and that's all I care about.
Yeah. I think he is pretty good for that. And he costs 4, so he's not unattainable.
Right, especially in a landfall deck, where you're like 4 mana, whatever, boom, and he gets you more mana. So,
yeah.
And then, yeah.
I think he's better than the original Koth from Scars of Mirrodin.
Oh, for sure. I definitely think he's better than the original Koth. I mean, he's always been kind of a weirdly boring planeswalker, I think.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, this might be a point of contention for our one listener, Todd, but I think Jace is my least favorite planeswalker.
Oh, yeah.
Jace is boring as fuck.
Yeah, agreed.
Because every time they print a new one, it's like, guess what? He's going to make you draw a card, or he's going to make someone mill a lot. And you're like, shut.
Boy. I'm glad he got completed.
Yeah, me too. Fuck you, Jace. Although Space Bellerin is pretty good.
that's pretty funny.
It's my preferred Jace, is Space.
Yeah.
Cool. What do you got for 3?
For 3, so this one is I'm breaking the rules, breaking the law. This one's it's a twofer, because I feel like they just have to be included together.
My god, that's so funny. Sorry, I was gonna do a twofer for my next one, so this is perfect.
Hell yeah. I have Skrelv Defector Might and Skrelv's Hive. I actually think Skrelv's Hive is better. I'll read that off first. So it's a white and 1 for an enchantment. It says at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life and create a 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might artifact creature token, Jesus Christ, with Toxic 1, and this creature can't block. And then it has Corrupted, so as long as an opponent has 3 or more poison counters, creatures you control with Toxic have lifelink. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
For 2 mana, you get a 1/1 with Toxic every turn.
And it's an artifact.
And it's an artifact. So, shit like affinity for artifacts. Like, there's a lot that this can go in. And for 2 mana, that's like early game play, and it can quickly overrun if it's not dealt with.
Yeah.
And then
it makes any deck an infect deck.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I mean, you could even put this in just like a token deck, like a mono white token deck, and it just works. It just makes your deck much more mean.
Right, and talking about the difference between Toxic and Infect, it's like the downside to Infect was that running an Infect deck meant you weren't doing combat damage. Now you still do combat damage, so you're whittling away at someone's life total and giving them poison counters.
Yeah.
So that's pretty fucking bad when it's against you. It's really good if you have it, but
Yeah, right. And then of course Skrelv Defector Might, 1 mana, 1 white mana, for a 1/1 legendary artifact creature. Phyrexian Might has Toxic 1. Skrelv Defector Might can't block on brand. And for 1 white Phyrexian mana, you can tap Skrelv, choose a color. Another target creature you control gains Toxic 1 and Hexproof from that color until end of turn. It can't be blocked by creatures of that color this turn. So that is good in some situations, I think. In the kind of thing where it, like in a Might focused deck, I don't think that's very good. So it seems weird that it would be like 1 creature you control and not like mites you control or something, but maybe that was just too broken.
Yeah, I think it gives him more play in the sense that you can put him in more decks, because if anything, you're giving something protection for 2 life, which is great.
Yeah.
And making him full Might tribal would just shoehorn him into being only used, or it, or whatever it is, he, she, they, it, Skrelv. To be being only used in Might decks, so it gives it a little more playability, I think. And even in a Might deck, you're not going to have all Mites, and most stuff that makes Mites aren't Mites, or they don't have Toxic. They just come in and poop out Might tokens, so you can give those things Toxic now, which is dope.
Yeah, or you could, I mean, if you are making a Might deck, you're going to have like Mondrak in there, and you could make that unblockable, essentially.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, seems pretty good to me. Cool. My 2 that are slammed together here are Venerated Rot Priest and Bloated Contaminator.
Hey.
If you haven't heard of Venerated Rot Priest, I don't know how to help you. It is it's a 1-drop, 1/2 rare that is already $10.
Yeah.
1-drop, 1/2 rare. Phyrexian Druid has Toxic 1. Whenever a creature you control becomes the target of a spell, target opponent gets a poison counter.
What the fuck? Ooh, no, I don't like that.
Ew, that card is toxic. I'm going to make the joke everyone's made, but holy shit.
Yeah.
And Bloated Contaminator, 2 colorless, 1 green pip for a 4/4. It's 3 for a 4/4 with trample. It's already pretty good. It has Toxic 1. It's a 4/4 with trample with Toxic. Already dumb. There's more. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, proliferate. Because.
Oh. I hate that.
Yeah, so these go right in hand, like totally hand in hand, because it's endless, really. You could there's already combos with just Venerated Rot Priest.
Yeah.
There's a 3-turn win combo that I found on MTG Goldfish. If you're not familiar, you should check them out. They make a lot of good content. They're really good if you are a standard nerd and you just want somebody to make a deck for you. So you just build whatever deck they make. They're really good for that. That sounds like I'm talking shit on them. They do a good job, but anyway, March of Burgeoning Life from Neon Dynasty. It is X and 1 green pip. As an additional cost to the spell, you may exile any number of green cards from your hand. The spell costs 2 less to cast for each card exiled this way. Choose target creature with mana value less than X. Search your library for a creature card with the same name as that creature. Put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. So in Standard, you just pay 1 green mana. You exile a green card. You go find your other Venerated Rot Priest, and then you just start fucking. Then oh god, you're just for every spell you cast that's targeting 1 creature, somebody's getting 2 poison counters. So the idea is before you play March of Burgeoning Life, you do one, you get a counter on, you play another, you get 2 on, you play another. It's like you can just wombo combo someone to death.
Yeah, and it's any creature that you control. So if you have Ivy, Gleeful Spell Thief, which so I'll read it out. It's 1 green and 1 blue for a 2/1 legendary creature, Fairy Rogue with flying. Whenever a player casts a spell that targets only a single creature other than Ivy, you may copy that spell. The copy targets Ivy.
Yeah, weird.
Oh my god.
Yeah, insta-death. You lost. Yeah. That's what that means.
It's over.
And even if you wanted to play, I guess, more fair, you just pump up Bloated Contaminator, which is 3 for a 4/4 with trample that proliferates when it deals combat damage. You pump him up with Titanic Growth, which got reprinted in this set, and anything that buffs up a green creature. Newsflash, there's a lot of fucking things that do that. And then you're doing poison counters that whole time, and then you got a big scary Bloated Contaminator that rolls through, does its Toxic 1, whatever, does its Toxic 1, and then it proliferates. Dumb.
Yeah, stupid. I saw a modern combo that was you fuck. Jesus Christ. Manamorphose and Past in Flames. So Past in Flames gives all instants and sorceries in your graveyard flashback until end of turn, and flashback cost is equal to its mana cost. Manamorphose is 1 and either green or red, and you add 2 mana in any combination of colors and draw a card. So you fucking Past in Flames, everything in your graveyard gets flashback, cast a bunch of Manamorphose, draw a bunch of cards, cast other shit if you want to, and then Ground Rift on Venerated Rot Priest, which is 1 red and says target creature without flying can't block this turn, but it has Storm. So
oh god.
you just, it's not that hard with those low cost spells, and with Manamorphose you are coming out with an even number of mana. You fucking cast 10 spells and then just do Ground Rift.
Yeah, and guess what? Venerated Rat Priest is never blocking again, but it doesn't matter because you're dead.
Yeah. Like, what?
That sounds dumb.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I'd be fine with someone doing that to me exactly one time, and then I would never want to experience that again.
It's like, don't do that again.
Yeah, I'm always cool with getting comboed exactly one time by whatever combo, and then anything after that, I'm like, all right, please. There has to be more. I know there's more to this game. Why are we doing this?
Yeah. Why are we here? Just to suffer.
Cool. What do you got next?
Right. Oh, I'm real excited about this one. Oh, Jesus. I have Karumanix.
The Rat King.
The Rat King. He costs 2 black and 1 legendary creature Phyrexia and Rat. He's a 3/3. He has Toxic 1. Other rats you control have Toxic 1. And when he enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal any number of rat cards from among them and put them into your hand, and put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. I love him. I don't know if he's actually going to be that good, but I just, oh my god, look at him. He has 3 heads. They're all skulls.
Yeah. Is he ever going to be better than Ink Eyes or whatever it is? Probably not.
Oh,
but
no.
It's still real good. And Plague Rats, the flavor is awesome.
Yeah, the flavor is there. I'm this not in Commander, but I'm definitely going to build a rat deck in like Standard, maybe on Arena, until I get tired of Arena Zoomers.
Oh yeah, here's a weird shout out. I don't think we've ever really talked about it. I don't like Arena at all.
Yeah,
it's just not who I am. It's made for Standard people that I guess the mythical Standard person that has enough money to stay up to date in Standard and Paper Magic, and then also somehow have enough money to stay up to date in Fake Magic.
Yeah, or Time, because Jesus Christ, like
it is streamers. It's for streamers. Arena's for streamers.
Yeah,
and not the cool streamers that hang off your bike.
I still play it just because I get more Magic time in that way. I have been playing Explorer, which is a lot better, but yeah.
Yeah, I've been struggling with. I want to re-download it just so I can play Magic more. But you're looking at or you're listening to a person who has played himself many a time. Not just in life, I also mean in Magic. So our one listener, Brody, I'm not a single child. Well, yeah, an only child, but single child sounds really weird and uncomfortable.
That's really, I don't like that.
Only child. I'm used to having to just make up games for myself, and part of the reason I make so many Magic decks is just because I get tired of playing against the decks I already have. So, you know when you get tired of playing against your friends with the same Magic deck over and over? Mine is expedited because I'm playing against myself all the time.
Oh, yeah. I've played against myself with my Crick deck so many times the past couple weeks.
Yeah. I think on average, I make about 2 decks a week, and some of them my play group never even sees. I just make a deck and then pull it apart. And make a deck and pull it apart. I'm just constantly building decks.
Yeah. That's why I do it on Moxfield, so I don't have to actually do it with the physical cards.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm ready for another beer. You ready for another beer?
Oh, yes. I've been waiting. I just realized I'm always the one that brings it up first, so I'm just trying to be cool about it.
Be cool. Be cool. Don't say it. Just wait. Beads of sweat dripping down.
Yeah. Also, I apologize ahead of time. Listener, let me look at my list. Peter. Oh, fuck. We've done Peter like a million times.
It's fine.
Michael? I don't know if we've done Michael.
Okay.
If you hear that sound, it's my dog chewing a bone in the background. So, if we all listen for a second, you can hear it happening. He's at peace, though. He's not barking.
Yeah.
So, Jack, what do you got for round 2?
I have not on brand Reptar juice from 26 Acres.
Classic. That's a Charlotte staple right there.
Yeah. So 26 Acres is in Concord. If you are not from Charlotte, you don't know where the fuck that is. It's about 20 minutes north of Charlotte. So,
Yep.
Yeah. So what do you have?
I have Fuster Cluck from Devil's Logic in Charlotte.
Ah, yeah.
I will say, just getting ahead of it, this is totally my fault. This is from September. It's not super old, but it's 5 months old at this point, and so it's probably going to drink a little bit different. But that's on me. I let it sit in my fridge for that long. Oh my god.
Is she chunky?
It's just... No, it's like... it's actually pretty good. Part of it is because earlier today, I ran and flipped it over, and, let everything do its magic, so it's kind of mixed pretty well. Nothing chunky.
Okay.
I'm also not going to pour the... Oh, yeah, there it is. I'm not going to pour the last...
That sludge, yeah.
It's not too bad. It's alright, but... If you ever start to pour it, if you look at the canning date and it's older and you start to pour and you can tell that it looks really light, like if you've had this beer before and it looks like it's really light, that just means all the stuff that usually makes it darker and cloudy is sitting at the bottom of the can. So just save yourself and just don't pour that into your fucking glass. You don't want that.
I actually don't have a glass. I should probably go get one.
Yeah, I almost... Because we were doing hazies today, I almost didn't pour my beers into a glass because I didn't really want to look at it. Didn't really want to have to see any of the shit that was floating around in there.
Yeah.
But whatever. I always do. I just do it so I can crack it into the mic and never pick it up anyway. But just in case somebody wants to hear it.
Okay. Well,
Just
I
to
am
prove
going to
it's
go grab a
fresh.
glass, so I'll be right back.
All right.
I have returned with a dog.
Oh. Did you bring a glass too or just a dog?
Oh shit, the glass. Now he wants to go back out. No, you wanted to come in here. This is your No.
Jack, what's your dog's name?
Captain.
Oh, God. Listener, man, I had all this time to think of a name, and I just didn't think of one at all. Listener, Jamie Lee.
Curtis?
Yeah. So, I don't know if you noticed, but, the last 2 episodes, I've just been saying names of people that are associated with horror movies because I've been looking at a list of a bunch of different horror movies that's mounted on my wall, so I just keep looking at my wall and trying to come up with a name from it. Listener Jamie Lee, I have a weakness for pets that are named with military rankings, like Sarge. Or I met a dog the other day, and they were like, "Yeah, my dog's name is LT." And I was like Lieutenant? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. Lieutenant. Oh, jeez. Whew.
Should have named him Dan.
Oh, there you go, Lieutenant Dan. That's a long name. That's his last name, actually. His first name's Lieutenant. Lieutenant Dan was actually just a man. He just happened to walk into Vietnam. No military standing. Just
No,
legally
yeah.
changed his name to Lieutenant.
Oh my god. All right. I'm going to get into the next untapped step. It's in the middle of the turn. Don't think about it too hard. Oh my god, I forgot about this. So my first one is from Michael Hunt.
Mike Hunt?
And-
That's a joke. That's not his real name.
Yeah,
Mike Hunt.
I know. I mean, it's probably a joke. And he says, so tasty. With its taste, but it has a little, like,
Accent
little-
aigu?
what?
Oh, it's like the little upward
Has like a
line
tilde.
on the E?
Yeah, it has a tilde on the E. So tasty. And that's all. I mean, he gave it 4 stars. It's cool. Next one, this dude. Well, I'll read it out because I have it open, but I actually found a better one. Patrick Riley says, gave it 4 stars. Says, interesting hazy. Cool. Thanks. There's nothing interesting about a hazy, but whatever.
What did you think about it? You didn't say.
It's fine. It's better than the last one.
Mine's
it's got
drinking
more-
fine still.
Oh, good. That's oh yeah, definitely forgot to ask about that. You were talking about dogs with military names.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's has like more hop flavor. But without being like too bitter. So that's good, but I still would rather drink almost anything else. So yeah.
It does kind of bug me when people say I love IPAs and then they only drink hazies.
Yeah.
And that's such a pissy snob thing to say. But I am not going to... I still believe that.
I'm not taking it back.
I acknowledge
You can't
it's
make me.
douchey, but it's also how I feel. So,
Yeah.
do with that what you will.
Next review, JM gave it 3.5 stars. Says hazy orange body, medium foamy white head, floral fruity citrus aroma, floral fruity citrus flavor, medium body, moderate carbonation. 7/1/8/4/15 3.5. Do you know what that
Wait.
means?
7/1/...
8/4/15.
I don't, but I do know that some people on Untapped, I've seen this before, they have like different categories that they score separately, and they give their Untapped rating. And this sounds fucking ridiculous, but this is very real.
It is ridiculous.
They give their Untapped rating based on the average of all those scores. That is what their final Untapped rating is. So it's like if you've taken the ACT, if you're from the Midwest, and you know how every category is on a 36-point scale, but your overall grade is on a 36-point scale, and they just take the average of all that shit. That's what people do for Untapped reviews, which is... It's a fucking beer. It's beer. Drink it or don't.
Yeah, see, I didn't like this. I liked this. Fucking fuck off with that pretentious shit. Also, we have the ACT here, too, but...
Oh, yeah?
Nah. Anyway, moving on. Metal Melody says it starts with a typical hoppy flavor but is quickly overpowered by something far more sinister. I struggled to get the thick, unidentifiable taste out of my mouth. I don't know what flavor they were going for, but it's not for me. I could not drink it. 0.5 star. Wow. This person is an author, or they want to be.
They got a cursed can. What
Yeah.
the fuck?
They got some ghost spooge in there.
Something way more sinister. Holy shit. That's a good review. That's a good one. I like that. Whew. If I'm doing this, the way I rate reviews has changed drastically, because now if it's so ridiculous that I'll remark on it, I almost think it's a good review.
Yeah, it's like, oh, no, you almost tricked me. It's not a good review. I just thought it was because it was entertaining.
Yeah, right.
It's entertaining because I'm an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got. What do you have?
Cool. I have... My first one is from Andy, no last name. Checking this in at Lowe's Foods. For people who aren't familiar, because I didn't know this fucking existed. Lowe's Foods is a grocery store. It's not just like when people are like, oh, I'm going to Lowe's to get some shit. They don't always mean the hardware store. There's like a chain of grocery stores. I think I've talked about this before on the podcast, but...
Have you?
Yeah, I'm positive I have, because the more I talk about it, the more I realize it's something I've said before. Because I talk so much, I just kind of forget about shit I said. Anyway, Andy gave this 3.5 stars out of 5. He says, the live music they are playing tonight is a Fustercluck, which is the name of this beer. About to put a fork in my ears. And that's it. Oh, wait. He also said he's here for the Firestone Walker barrel-aged beer tap takeover. But instead he had a hazy IPA.
What the fuck, Andy?
Andy, no last name.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, there's live music at a grocery store, so maybe chill out. Like, lower your expectations.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that part. Yeah, you were at a grocery store, which, to be fair, Lowe's Foods is pretty incredible if you've never been. I guess it's a southern chain, which I didn't realize until actually not that long ago. But
yeah, it's like Belk. I didn't know what the fuck Belk was till I moved here.
Oh, yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, Lowe's is supposed to be really good. If you're in the Charlotte area or in the Carolinas,
yeah,
check out a Lowe's Food. They always have really good beer selections. I need to make a pilgrimage to one.
Yeah, they're good. And they have a bar in there and live music. And they have a lot of shit. They have, like, hot wings and shit.
And most breweries do these tap takeovers where they'll actually come and pour and talk about the beer and stuff at the bars, which is crazy because this is happening in a grocery store. My next review is from Dave Mason. His profile picture is a beer that he made a smiley face in the head of the beer, and I kind of like that.
Fantastic! Yeah, I love that.
But it's not the way you would think, because normally when you think somebody made a smiley face in their in the head, it's like super foamy and they just stuck their finger in it. This is like the head dissipated, but somehow the white of the foam is making the smiley face, so it's even more impressive and cool. Sorry, that was a really deep dive in on that. He gave this beer 4 out of 5 stars. He said, smooth, juicy, and crushable. I should give it a 5 just for the name. But he didn't give it a 5. He gave it a 4. And that
what the fuck?
Bugs me.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all I got. I will say Fustercluck is really hard to say. I have to think about it because I just want to say clusterfuck because that's what I say. I don't ever say Fustercluck because I'm not a child.
No one says that.
No. Cool, edgy name, Devil's Logic. They're cool. I like those guys.
Yeah. I couldn't think of anything funny to say. Yeah, they are cool.
This last October they did a horror movie competition. They had people that submitted like original horror short films, and the grand prize for best film was $666.
Fuck yeah, hail Satan!
And their phone number has 666 in it as well because they are all about the flavor. Yeah, and that's it. That's all I got.
Edgy bitches like us.
Yeah, it's great. Beer people. Well, we've all been edgelords. We all played those games.
Yeah.
I've been to a Hot Topic.
All right. Moving on. Back to the first main phase.
Oh my god, we're still here.
We're still here. This is going to be a long one. Buckle the fuck up.
I think you were next.
Yeah, my next one is Mirren Safe House. So for 3 mana, you get an artifact. As long as Mirren Safe House is on the battlefield, it has all activated abilities of all land cards and all graveyards. I think that would be really fucking good for um stuff like I almost said Dave Grohl, but not him, the other one.
Get Rog. Get
Get
Rog, dude.
Rog. Get fucking Rog, dude. Stuff like Get Rog, where you have to sacrifice a land, or you have to sacrifice him. I'll just read the whole thing. He's 1 green, 1 black, and 3 for a 6/6 death touch. What the fuck? Already good. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice the Get Rog monster unless you sacrifice a land. You may play an additional land on each of your turns, and whenever one or more lands are put into your graveyard from anywhere, draw a card. So he's already a really solid commander, but I think with Mirren Safe House, you could get some good utility lands in there, and have some cool combos that you could do. In fact, here's one that I found where with Mirren Safe House out and Griffin Canyon and Mutavault in the graveyard. So Griffin Canyon is a land that says tap to add 1 colorless to your mana pool, or you can tap to untap target Griffin. That Griffin gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Mutavault says it can tap for 1 colorless, or you can pay 1 mana, have it become a 2/2 creature with all creature types until end of turn. So you use Mutavault's ability from the graveyard, make Mirren Safe House a 2/2, and then tap it to activate Griffin Canyon's ability that says untap target Griffin. Well, it is a Griffin, so it untaps itself, gets +1/+1, and you just do that infinitely. Which is fucking
that
awesome.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Also, now that this exists, I might make a land destruction deck.
You need like an exile deck, though.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I already have one. We'll talk about it later.
Graveyard hate or artifact hate. But I think Mirren Safe House could be pretty fun. That's another one that I think has a lot of potential that we have not tapped into yet. I'm excited to see what people come up with.
That'll be a fun one. Yep. My next one is Sword of Forge and Frontier. It's a sword, so surprise, it's good. 3 colorless, 2 to equip. Equip creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from red and green. Fuck Gruul. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play those cards this turn. You may play an additional land this turn. So it's kind of weird. It's a little bit weird in the sense that it has protection from red and green, but it wants to do red and green things. I mean, that's kind of how they always go, but like this would almost be perfect in a landfall deck, but it'd be a non-bow if you put it on any of your shit. So it's fun because I don't know, you put it in a black and white deck where you don't have the ramp accessible outside of card draw like red and green does, or specifically green does, and then you're getting to impulse draw and play an additional land. So it's fun. I like it. I think it's very versatile, whatever you want to say for that word.
Versatility.
Versatility, there you go. Versatile with the little accent.
Hey. Yeah, that.
It's good. It's another card that's just good. Stick it in.
Yeah, it's a sword.
Whatever.
It's good.
That's it, yeah. I still think Sword of the Animist is one of my favorite swords of all time. But this is a pretty good one, too.
Yeah, what does Sword of the Animist do?
It does some other stuff, but the main thing is whenever something, I think, deals combat damage, you get to look for a basic land and, I think, either put it into your hand or put it on the battlefield.
Looks like it's whenever a equipped creature attacks, you may search your library for a basic land and put it on the battlefield tapped.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And that's another one that you could put that in any deck where
Yeah.
you're worried about missing your land drops. Like, that's really good in Rakdos, where you're just constantly fucked on mana.
Oh.
Or Boros, which is, I mean, like we've talked about
yeah.
before, they're always trying to make white more playable and giving it more card draw and more weird look for planes cards, but Boros historically has been horrible for that. But yeah, that's it. Just a good card in general.
Yeah, it's a sword. It's good.
It is a sword.
It's cool. And I think that one completes the cycle.
It does, because there hasn't been a red-green one. I looked really hard. I didn't believe it, actually. I was like, there's no fucking way.
Yeah.
That,
surprising.
Yeah.
Especially since I think the first cycle was in Scars and Mirrodin, wasn't it?
Yes, because that's like when we're...
Oh,
no, it might have been
Darksteel.
a core set. Huh? Darksteel?
Darksteel.
Okay.
Which is like way before, so...
Yeah.
Never mind. Wow,
Actually,
it took them fucking 20 years to complete that cycle.
My favorite sword is not a sword. It is technically a sword, but it doesn't say sword. It's World Slayer. My favorite sword is World Slayer.
Oh.
It's so funny. Yeah, it is $18 as well on TCG Player, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's good. So my next one is Encroaching Mycosynth. It's blue and 3 for an artifact. It says non-land permanents you control or artifacts in addition to their other types. Same is true for permanent spells you control and non-land permanent cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. So all of your permanents are artifacts, which can be really good in, once again, like an artifact, an affinity deck, or, I mean, really just any artifact deck anyway.
Yeah.
Especially if you have, like, Mycosynth Lattice out or something.
Yes.
For example. So, yeah, I think that this is just kind of versatile in any artifact deck that has blue in it, which, if you have any colors, you're going to have blue.
Yeah, I think it very much felt like we didn't want to reprint Mycosynth Lattice, so we made this. And
Oh my god, could you imagine if they reprinted Mycosynth Lattice right now?
they need to. It's got to be on the list. It's got to be on the list. I cannot fucking believe that it did not get reprinted in Brothers War. And maybe I'm dead wrong, but I'm positive. I'm fucking pretty positive.
It didn't, yeah.
No. Yeah, why not? So they got this. This is on tail end of Brothers War, so it's still really good and very playable, very
yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean,
relevant.
White blue artifacts are a thing right now, so
yeah. I'm thinking of making a white blue golem deck, but yeah. So like this with Darksteel Forge, make all your fucking artifacts indestructible. Bang bang boom, call it a day.
Yeah.
Good one. Good pick. Very good pick. I have Zenith Chronicler is my next one.
Xenoblade Chronicles?
That is a good game. Hey, I love a good party game, party RPG game. Let's do it. Zenith Chronicler, 2 colorless, 3/1. It is an artifact creature, Phyrexian construct. Whenever a player casts their first multicolored spell each turn, each other player draws a card. It is a big fuck you to anyone that's not playing monocolored. Or if you're playing artifacts, you throw it in. Like, this is an auto.
Yeah.
I could put this in the 99 in so many decks. It's crazy. You want to put it specifically in a monocolored deck for sure. And having that card draw and punishing people that play multicolored spells when you're playing monocolored helps kind of offset the negatives of only running with one color. One color. So I think it's good. And, you know, fuck it. You stick this in a mono green deck, you were going to win anyway, but now you get to draw.
Yeah, you didn't draw. Yeah,
And it's a little group hug.
It is a little bit, yeah. I was thinking of putting that into my colorless artifact deck, actually.
Yeah, why not? Fuck it.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a hard counter to my fucking 5-color deck, but...
Right. and it's a triggered ability. It's so hard to get card draw off of artifacts that isn't an activated ability. So it's cool to see something that is just a triggered ability where you don't have to pay to do it. Yeah, I like it. Good. Yeah. I'm glad they printed it.
That's pretty cool. I like that effect.
Mm-hmm.
So my next one is a land. It's a sphere. The Seed Core.
Yeah, buddy. It's in my might deck, believe it or not.
Yeah. So you can tap to add 1 colorless. No one cares about that. You can also tap to add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast Phyrexian creature spells. And corrupted. So if an opponent has 3 or more poison counters, you can tap it and give target 1/1 creature +2/+1 until end of turn. So works really well for mites.
Yeah, or anything in standard, because pretty much everything's Phyrexian right now. So
yeah. And it's good because it's a little bit situational because you have to be running Phyrexians to play it. But a lot of the lands that generate 1 mana of any color now they deal damage to you or whatever. They have some other downside. And this one is just 1 mana of any color. I've started planning a Phyrexian deck a while ago before All-Be-One was actually announced. And this is definitely going to be going into that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that up because I knew that you were planning on making a Phyrexian deck forever ago. Listener, fucking PJ.
Yep.
He's been planning a Phyrexian deck for ever. Like when I say we've planned Trash Tribal and everything, any weird creature type has been thought of already. So yeah, I think I love the spheres too. I'm a sucker for a really weird land type.
Yeah, I really like the
spheres. Spheres and the layers and
yeah, it's cool. Side note, the art on what's it called? It's the artifact that taps for 1 mana of any color. Costs 3. Shit.
Command Sphere?
Phyrexian Atlas.
Oh, yeah.
That art
with the rainbow
is fucking awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it shows all the spheres. Yeah, super cool.
That one has a weird ability as well, right? It does damage if someone has a certain amount of poison counters, I think.
Yeah,
right?
So it's the corrupted thing. So if someone has 3 or more poison counters, it deals 1 damage. Well, they lose 1 life. Technically, there's a difference whenever it becomes tapped. So, it's a little bit of damage. I feel like they could have maybe come up with a better upside than that, but a 3-mana rock that taps for 1 mana of any color is already an existing thing, so it's pretty much just good.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's your Manolith and any 3 rock that taps for any color of mana.
Yeah, that wasn't
Definitely
one of my
around.
choices. It's just, it's a pretty good rock.
Who doesn't like a good rock? Look at this rock!
Look at that rock! I used to have a rock collection as a kid.
Yeah. We're all, once again, we're all the same nerd here. We all have all had a cool rock collection. I used to have a drawer in... So I'm an only child, once again. I had lofted beds. For who? I don't know. Why did I need 2 beds? Actually, I had 2 beds because I was petrified of the dark. And I thought if I had one on the bottom, it would be a decoy so nobody would find me on top. And then I would sleep on top, but I would sleep with my head at the foot of my bed as another decoy, and I only slept in sleeping bags, and I would stuff the top of the sleeping bag. I was terrified. Anyway, I had drawers in my lofted beds, and I had a whole drawer that was just filled with loose string from things I found. I don't know if that's a nerd thing or if that's just a weird thing. I'm just revealing way too much about myself.
No, I think, we're all the same nerd, like you said.
Yeah. My cousin literally got a box of rocks for Christmas, and I wish that was a joke. They put like wrapping paper on a shoebox that they filled with loose rocks, and he unraveled it and was so excited. And we went and threw rocks in a cornfield for 3 hours.
Just Wisconsin
rocks are
things.
Cool. Yeah, all right. Oh God!
All right.
All right.
Who just went? Was that me?
You just went. Yeah,
Right.
I'm next. I got Drowning Ichor, and you'll have to hang in there for this one.
Ichor,
it's
I just
a colorless, colorless and a black. Target creature gets -4/-4 until end of turn. Proliferate. So I love, who doesn't love a good ---- ability? It takes care of indestructible.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really hard to argue with. I will say the downside is that this is a sorcery and not an instant. But for what it does, -4/-4 in terms of minus spells, that is pretty strong.
Yeah.
I think it's going to deal with
2
most.
mana? Yeah.
Yeah, and then proliferate on top of it, and especially in standard, and in black, proliferate's great in black because green, black, blue counter decks are a thing. I mean, Vorosh. We've talked about Vorosh multiple times, but that was the first and only 1/1 counter deck I ever made because I got exhausted by the triggers. It's just so annoying. But yeah, Dimir proliferate, especially is a thing in this set, especially with what's his nuts meat puppet man.
Oh, Vincer?
Jim Deadson. Yeah.
Jim Deadson? Oh, come on. The man's dead. You don't have to rub it in.
Which one? They both are.
Well, you're not wrong.
The flavor! Yeah.
Flavor.
Obviously a real thing. So Drowning Ichor, I really like it. I'll throw it into any black deck. Not sound true. But I'll throw it into my Orzhov Might deck for sure.
Yeah.
Pretty good. And it's an uncommon. I just like highlighting good uncommons. Your turn.
My turn. Sorry, I was looking at Vincer again. God, that art is... Ugh.
Horrifying.
Yeah. Oh, God. Okay. Ugh. My next one is Norn's Wellspring. So it's a white and 1 for an artifact. I'm learning that I have a lot of artifacts on here. Whenever a creature you control dies, scry 1 and put an oil counter on Norn's Wellspring. And then you can pay 1 and tap it to remove 2 oil counters from it to draw a card. That's really good in something like Aristocrats. And you don't even have to be running other oil cards. Because, there are a bunch of cards that are like, if you control a permanent that has oil counters on it, do whatever. But this one you can just throw into an Orzhov Aristocrats deck, and it will be good.
Yeah, and Aristocrats is never going away. So it's always good to have cards that play into that. It's always good to have more options, so you're not having to spend a bunch of money on whatever. You know what I mean? I love playable reprints of stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And so this scries 1. So if you are able to then activate it and draw a card after that, what you're going to get, or you put something that you didn't want away, and it just keeps getting value.
Yeah, very good.
It's good.
Everyone likes added value. That's what I think. If you've noticed a trend in any of our Power 9 picks, it's mostly that they're all value cards. I would say that none of our picks, except for the Infect specific ones, they're all cards that can go into any deck for the most part.
Yeah, true.
Which is good. I think that's the point, though. That's like what makes something powerful. It's like when you pull Silverback Monkey Man and you're running a mono green deck, he's going to go in there because he's just fucking good. Or you have...
It doesn't matter what he does. He's just good.
Yeah. Like Elder Garglemouth. You're going to put that in a green deck.
I did.
He just moves from green deck to green deck that I have. It's just, he's just going around because he's just a fucking good card. Ugh. All right. My next pick is Phyrexian Vindicator. I will say the biggest downside to this card, which is obviously why it exists because it's a countermeasure, is its mana cost. It is 4 white pips, so all white mana. Phyrexian Horror, 5/5 with flying. So it is 4 for 5/5 with flying, but it's all white mana. If damage would be dealt to Phyrexian Vindicator, instead, prevent that damage. When damage is prevented this way, instead, Phyrexian Vindicator deals that much damage to any target. So it just went, nah. Do you mean you meant to punch that guy, right? And then the person's like, you're right. I did mean to punch that guy.
Yeah, so, not even combat damage, just damage.
Yeah, it just goes, nah. Literally just says, nah. And this is great. I mean, this is just a good card for white. It's what I like to see, because this makes me want to play a mono white deck. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like, green gets these cards that makes you want to play mono green all the time, and white is just so full of weenies.
Yeah, a lot of weenies.
Unless you're playing Commander, and then you get like a good white Commander now and again, and then you have to like research to find enough good mono white cards to stuff into your deck. And even then, there's usually like a whole bunch of artifacts in there to offset it. Yeah. It's just nice to have like a good solid, I'm playing mono white for 4, I get a 5/5 with flying. That is going to be a huge fucking problem for everyone the rest of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of the mana cost, the biggest downside is that he can still get smoked by a Doomblade for 2, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, I mean, he can get smoked by a fucking Go for the Throat, which is in standard right now, so like, you can definitely still kill him.
Yeah.
But here's another thing. You can target him with your own burn spells.
Yeah, so, right. It's a stuffy doll. It's another stuffy doll.
Yeah.
So
still pretty good.
Yeah, real good in Boros. You just shoot him a bunch, and then especially with the red Dominus, who I think cares about doubling damage that you do. So
yeah,
cool. Just a cool card. Cool to see. I like the art. It's very aggressive and
yeah, I do like it.
I like all the Phyrexian art. They just leaned into total gross. I feel like New Phyrexia was like, these things are kind of icky.
Yeah.
Like, this set is just gross. Like, just straight gross. Like,
yeah,
do you like teeth?
Sure.
I heard teeth makes people uncomfortable. What if we just put teeth on every white Phyrexian creature ever?
Yeah. Everything has teeth now. In places that they shouldn't be.
Yeah. This turtle, it has teeth. You like that?
No, don't. Please stop. A nice beach you have there. It'd be a shame if someone put teeth on it.
Oh, God. That made me laugh so hard. What card are you talking about so the listener knows?
I'm talking about Seachrome Coast. It's one of the fast lands, so it enters tapped unless you control 2 or fewer other lands and taps for a white or a blue. It's a reprint.
Yeah, it is a reprint, but if you look close, and I didn't, when Jack had to point it out for me, I did not I thought those were icebergs, and they are in fact just teeth. And
yeah,
like, oh,
on the
shit,
borderless version, yeah.
Yeah. You're like, those are undeniably teeth, too. It's not even like we're imagining.
There they are.
They're teeth. Straight molars.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Cool. All right. Should be on your last one. What do you got?
I'm on my last one. I have Ossification. It's 1 white and 1 for an enchantment aura. Enchant basic land you control, and when ossification enters the battlefield, exile target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls until ossification leaves the battlefield. It's weird that it has to go onto a land, but I kind of like that. Yeah, so it's a flat out exile target creature or planeswalker, which I think is pretty fucking good.
I like it too. I like land enchantments, and I put this card in one of my decks in my Might deck that I just made.
Yeah,
because it has that what was that fucking thing that they had to reprint so it was more obvious it was a creature. It was that green creature, that elf thing.
Yeah, the Dryad.
Yes, the whatever Dryad elf thing that.
Yeah, Dryad Arbor.
Yes, it is a land, but it's a creature that taps for, or it attacks for 1. It's a 1/1. I love land enchantments that do that exile shit, because I'm gonna put it on my land and people are gonna forget that shit exists.
Yeah. Yeah, I think ossification is real good.
It feels real sneaky. That shit's always good too, because, well, it's especially good in our play group because we just don't run enchantment hate.
Yeah,
we just
not at all.
Oops, forgot. And, if you're running like red-black, it's kind of hard to get that enchantment hate going. It's really easy to hate artifacts, but enchantments, that's always very that's a green job, and everyone's just sitting around waiting for the green deck to deal with it, and then they don't because they want to do other things. So.
And they're like, it doesn't bother me. I'm not going to do anything about it.
Yeah, right. So you just kind of eat it. You just have to eat it, and that's cool.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So,
cool.
What's your last one?
My last one is Ichor Moon Gauntlet.
Ooh.
I didn't really know this card existed until I pulled 2 of them in this booster box that I got. But it is... Oh, man, it's $22. It is 2 colorless and a blue for an artifact. Planeswalkers you control have 0 proliferate, and -12 take an extra turn after this one. Pretty fucking good, especially in Super Friends. If we love Super Friends, it's a very slept-on thing. And whenever you cast a non-creature spell, choose a counter on target permanent. Put an additional counter of that kind on that permanent. So, you don't even necessarily have to be running Super Friends. You could ignore that whole top thing.
Yeah.
And just, be boosting other shit. You could be pumping up counters on other shit. That matters. But, in a Super Friends deck, hey, this is pretty fucking good. And I found a combo with it that I'm going to bring up. Just talking about it is... hold on. It is like an improvised version of a modern combo that people are running. Essentially, you have Ichor Moon Gauntlet out. Then you drop Mox Amber, and then you play Repeal for 0. So Repeal is X, 1 blue, return target an online permanent with converted mana cost X to its owner's hand, draw a card. Then you return Mox Amber, you play Mox Amber again, and just right there, in doing that, you get 3 counters that can then get dropped on something. So, really good in Super Friends. It's like this deck is made, or this card is made for the return of, I keep saying Super Friends, but Super Friends is just getting, it's usually like Wooburg, you just play all the Planeswalkers you can.
Yeah. Pretty much. It's all Planeswalkers.
Right. And that's why,
Maybe some board wipes.
Yeah. And the zero cost proliferate, and -12 take an extra turn after this one, those are designed specifically for you to be playing Super Friends and making it work. But the zero cost proliferate is really good in Standard right now, especially with so many Planeswalkers that just got printed off in this set.
Yeah.
I think Dimir is going to be running this like crazy between
I think it'll be Esper.
Oh, it is totally Esper. Yeah, you're right. It is specifically Esper.
Got
I
some
think.
good white fucking planeswalkers.
Yeah, there's Wanderer, whatever the fuck,
Yeah.
and then you have Jace, and you have Vraska, and then you have Kaya. Yeah. So, Acre Moon Gauntlet, pretty good. Like it. It's fun. It's just a fun one too. It's got a lot going on. So, I appreciate seeing that. And it's 3. It only costs 3.
It costs 3.
That's like the biggest thing, really. Is it costs 3.
It's an artifact too. Like, there's not like obviously there's a lot of artifact removal, but you don't run anything that's specifically artifact removal, like as the premise of the deck. Like, you might run, oh, I need to be able to deal with a bunch of creatures, so I have a bunch of creature removal, and you have like a couple artifact removal cards. So
Right.
I think it'll be kind of hard to deal with.
Like, when you're thinking of decks, you have single target removal, usually creatures. You have board wipes that also deals with creatures, and then you have like a little sprinkle, a tiny little fucking
A crumb.
dose. Yeah, a crumb of enchantment artifact hate. It's like a footnote. So I do love seeing stuff like this on artifacts because I know it's going to sit around for a while for me to actually get value from it.
Yeah.
I am going to zero cost proliferate with my Planeswalker. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you
It's
can do
happening.
it with a bunch of them too. Like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm. Cool. That's it. I think we
right.
did the Power 9. We got it done.
Oh my god, we made it.
Barely. Yes. Real quick, I would just like to shout out, yes, you didn't slide by me with the trash travel cards that you printed in the set. Wizards. I caught them. We got
We'll always catch them.
a Phyrexian boar this set. We got a Juggernaut.
Oh, he's not trash though. He's really good.
He's pretty good. He is pretty good. But if you're making a boar deck, you got another boar.
Yeah.
If you're making a Juggernaut tribal deck, we can do that now.
We can do it.
They did it. Yeah. Shout out. Always gonna shout out. Thank you. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Cool.
Shall we move on to the second main?
Yeah. Are you drinking another beer or no?
I still have a little bit left.
All right. I'm on another one. I'm not gonna check it in because I didn't pull up any reviews for it. And
Works for me.
I'm not gonna lie to you, listener. Oh my God.
Nestor.
Christopher Walken specifically.
Oh well, he is listening. He's a
Listener.
friend of the show, Christopher Walken. Hey, what's
Yeah.
up?
Listen, Christopher, I bought a bunch of IPAs that just said they were IPAs. They didn't say what style. And given the current meta in the brewing world, and yes, I described it that way.
Oh my god.
I just assumed that they were going to be hazy IPAs, and then I was pleasantly and also irritatingly proven wrong that they were, in fact, just really good West Coast IPAs. So right now, I don't have reviews for it, but I'm drinking Fenario IPA from Jackalope Brewing Company, and you can assume that, yes, I did pick this because the brewing company is called Jackalope Brewing Company, and it's got a picture of a wolf on it. 'Cause I'm an idiot. Very good. It is somehow very hoppy, like grassy, but also caramely, and I really appreciate
nice.
that.
Yeah.
I like a good, more old school IPA that's got that kind of caramel malt thing going on with it. So, really solid. That's it. That's all I got to say about it. I've been drinking this for a while because I somehow housed that clusterfuck. I meant fustercluck.
the fucker. Shit. The butt fuckers.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I think we're on to our next step. So
Yeah, we're
hey,
on to the
Jack,
next. Yeah.
what you brewing?
I'm brewing a fucking Elish Norn mommy machine deck.
Well, what is
Which-
its name? Yeah.
Elish Norn, Mother of Machines.
No, what's your deck's name?
Oh, Panharmamicon. Yeah, because she's a panharmonicon. Anyway, so we already said what she does, but if you're just tuning in for some fucking reason, uh, she doubles the enter the battlefield effects or triggers for you, and then cancels them out for everyone else. So it's a lot of ETBs. So I've got, well, first of all, I have all the white staples, so I'm not going to go over that. Just know that they're in here. But for the ETB stuff, I've got Soul Sisters, so Soul Warden, Soul's Attendant, both gain you 1 life whenever a creature enters the battlefield, so you gain 2 life instead. Charming.
God, sorry, I didn't even think of that. That's the worst.
Yeah, and I have a lot of low-cost creatures in here, so they are mostly at or under 3 mana. So should be able to consistently play a lot of creatures and get that. Stuff like Charming Prince, which when he enters the battlefield, you can scry 2, gain 3 life, or flicker something else. So I'll get 2 of those, or 1 of them twice. Yeah, so like just a lot of that shit. I'm just gonna pick out some of the really good ones. I think Spirited Companion, obviously the good boy when he enters, you draw a card, so you draw 2 cards. Wall of Omens also draws you a card, so you draw 2 cards. Some of the other like non-creature stuff, we have Grasp of Fate. When it enters the battlefield, for each opponent, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent that player controls until Grasp of Fate leaves. So I do 2 for each person.
Oh, wow. And Commander? I heard that's really bad.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds terrible, right? Yeah. So, other exile effects, I've got, like, Felidar Retreat. So whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, you can create a 2/2 white cat or put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control.
Oh,
yeah, I'll just put 2 +1/+1 counters on everything. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. And then, of course, I have a bunch of other stuff to flicker that. So Cloud Shift to exile and return, Ephemerate, stuff like that. And just double up on all those triggers or any triggers that I need. So, yeah, I think it'll be pretty good.
Yeah, so, okay. I do have a question about a couple things that you have. Things that say this ability triggers only once each turn. Does Panharmami get around that? Because it says in the card it can only trigger once each turn, so what comes first?
Yes, that's a good question. I realized that as I was putting this together, and I haven't been able to find an answer for that yet.
That's fair. I mean, it's very new.
Right. So I would guess that when it says it can only trigger once per turn, it means the action that triggers it will only trigger it once. But because Elish Norn... oh, God. Because Mommy Machine doubles the trigger, like, when it triggers, it says add another one. I think it would still happen twice.
Okay, but, like, if we're looking at Welcoming Vampire... Mm-hmm. When 1 or more other creatures with power 2 or less enter the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Would Mommy Machine essentially show Welcoming Vampire like 2 creatures? Like you're still only drawing 1 card off of that, right? It's like it doesn't matter that it's really, even though it's
so
happening at the same time.
It's the It's the difference between the action that is triggering it and the trigger being doubled. So, this is my guess. I think what it'll do is welcoming vampire will say, okay, so one creature into the battlefield, this can't trigger again. Elish Norn says, okay, a trigger came up, double that. So then the next creature wouldn't trigger welcoming vampire, but I would still get 2 cards off of the first one.
Yes. Okay. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I could see that.
But I
Pretty
could
cool.
like flicker welcoming vampire and then do it again.
Yeah. Hey, also, do you have a hop allergy?
No, I don't think so.
Do you usually sneeze a bunch when you drink, like,
No.
IPAs or hazy stuff? Okay. Because that is a thing for listener whoever the fuck.
Carl.
Yeah, there you go. If you notice... Carl! If you...
Carl!
If you notice that you're sneezing a lot when you drink more than one IPA, it means you have a hop allergy. It's very common. It's a very common thing.
Yeah.
Hops are not... I mean, their whole thing is that stuff isn't supposed to eat it.
Yeah.
And then we
We
figured out
did
a way
it
to consume it.
anyway.
So, you know, classic human behavior. How do I eat the thing that's made to not be eaten?
Who else but humans? Yeah. Oh, one other interaction in here that I wanted to point out. What was it? Oh, wedding ring. So,
Yes.
wedding ring is 2 white and 2 for an artifact. When it enters the battlefield, if it was cast, target opponent creates a token that's a copy of it. And then, oh god, whenever an opponent who controls an artifact named Wedding Ring draws a card during their turn, you draw a card. And whenever an opponent who controls an artifact named Wedding Ring gains life during their turn, you gain that much life. So you make 2 of those.
Yes. So I totally forgot about this, but I watched the Phyrexia episode for game nights.
Yeah.
And I believe it was Josh that was running.
Yep.
Yes. And Wedding Ring is a very fun card that is really good. It's good outside of
Right.
Mommy Machine, but it's so cool to see that happen. You just like immediately enter a polygamous relationship.
Yeah, you are part of my thruple. You cannot leave.
Yeah. We're married now. Yeah.
So yeah, that's the gist.
Cool. Surprise, that should be a good deck.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty good, guys. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it will be.
Yeah. Kind of in the same vein. Oh wait, no. Is that it? Is that all you got?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh.
You have to ask me. Yeah. What?
What you brewing?
I'm bringing a deck that I already made. Listener, I keep wanting to say, oh, Jake. There we go, Jake. I keep wanting to say Donnie, like Donnie Darko, but we're gonna go Jake, like Jake Gyllenhaal, who is Donnie Darko. I've noticed I haven't played with our play group in a while, and then I came back not that long ago, and I noticed that everyone is running Graveyard Cheese, and that's very fucking annoying. I got Graveyard Cheese one too many times in a game. So, we are playing Prosper. Oh, weird. Prosper Tomebound. Is that a good card? Yeah, we all know it's a good card. I'm so sorry. Just so you know, it is 2 colorless, 1 red, 1 black for a 1/4 Death Touch, which I love. That is like if it was 3 mana for a 1/3 with Death Touch, that would be like the ideal commander for me. I love low attack, strong toughness, and Death Touch. Great.
Yeah.
Just like I'm really, most of the time I'm not trying to swing with my commander. I just want it to sit there and look pretty and do what it needs to do. It's First ability is Mystic Arcanum. At the beginning of your end step, exile the top card of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card. Second ability is Pact Boon. Whenever you play a card from exile, create a treasure token. Obviously, this is very good. You are essentially getting card draw, and then you are getting mana for benefiting off of that card draw. I made this deck a chaos deck that has control elements that's really focused on exiling everyone's stuff from the battlefield and their graveyards because I am tired of the graveyard cheese. And because it is red-black and chaos control.
Oh my god.
I've decided to call this deck Shadow Chaos Edgehog.
Nerd.
Yeah, I am a big fat fucking nerd. And I've just really dived in onto the exiling everything. So it's not as good as like a lot of Prosper decks that are trying to be more EDHR. I have stuff like Crumbling Sanctuary. It is 5 colorless for an artifact, and it says for every 1 damage somebody takes, they have to exile the top card of their library. It's like a way meaner Mind Crank. And it's like an expensive artifact that nobody runs, but I'm running it because I like fuck all you guys. Pretty much anything that you could think in red-black that's going to exile all of somebody's stuff is in this deck. But there's also a lot of impulse in there. And yeah, it runs pretty good. I mean, it makes its own mana. He makes his own mana.
He make it a mana.
He make it a mana. And yeah, it's just easy, fun to play, actually competitive. I feel like I haven't made a actually competitive deck in a long time, so it's a different change of pace for sure.
Yeah, and I've just been working on my one competitive deck, which sucks because like I want to play it because I've been working on it, but competitive.
What, Crick?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and it's like, I know we talk a lot about Trash Tribal and weirdo decks that don't really do anything, but believe it or not, we do like to win.
Sometimes.
Yeah, you know, we get those same impulses that everyone does, where it's like, you lost, and your deck didn't do what you wanted to do, and you're like, yeah, let's play again, because, let's do that again. And then you lose again, and then you're like, okay, let me get out my real deck, and let's play again, and see how that goes for you.
You're pissing me off now.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Jack and I have done this many a times at each other, where we just keep playing over and over again, because it's like, I lost, fuck, all right, again. Again. But, no, Prosper is very good. I will say Prosper is great pre-con deck. That was a Forgotten Realms pre-con deck. It is a deck that if I had just started playing Magic, I bought that pre-con, and I could understand how that worked. It would hook me on Magic in no time flat, because it runs itself. It's really hard to not easily build a deck around that. So, Prosper is cool. Fun.
Did you call out Omen Machine?
I didn't because we talked about it on a previous episode, but
do it anyway.
I did put Omen Machine in here. Omen Machine is a 6-drop artifact. It says that players can't draw cards. At the beginning of your upkeep, you exile the top card of your library. If it's a land, you put it onto the battlefield. If it's a non-land, you cast it without paying its mana cost. You just have to do it. That card, Omen Machine, that plays into the chaos element of my deck. It throws off everyone else's groove because instants and sorceries have to get cast. They don't have a choice. And then if it has to target something, they have to find a target for it.
You ruined my groove.
Right. I'm sorry, but you...
You threw off my groove. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you threw
You've
off
thrown
the
off the
Emperor's
Emperor's
groove.
groove.
But yeah, so you for free cast a spell, and then you get a mana out of it if you have Prosper on the field. Also, Possibility Storm is in here as well. I've always loved this card. I've loved this card the moment it came out because it's dumb. It changes the game immediately. Because as soon as it hits the battlefield, you immediately, like... It's very, very hard to deal with. Because if you have a card in your hand that... Let me tell you what Possibility Storm does first. It is 3 colorless... 2 red pips. It is an enchantment. Whenever you cast a spell from your hand, instead, you exile cards from the top of your library until you hit a card that is the same type as the card you're trying to cast, and then you cast that spell without paying its mana cost. So you just cycle through. You play an instant from your hand. You cycle through your deck until you hit another instant. You cast that for free.
From
so you're
exile.
getting the Yes, from exile. So that's important for Prosper because then you are getting the treasure token. Mm-hmm. And the idea is if you have anyone that's ever run Possibility Storm in a deck has built their deck around the idea that Possibility Storm is in there. So there's always this balance of low cost stuff to high cost, right? Because the dream is you play a 1-cost creature and you hit a 6-drop for 1, and then you get a treasure token off of it. And for other people, that's like, oh shit, Possibility Storm is on the battlefield. I have a 2-drop artifact hate spell, but instead I have to cycle through and find something else, and hopefully it will be my other artifact hate spell or my other enchantment hate spell. Possibility Storm gets really silly really quick. I have stopped using it in decks that don't have a purpose because it makes the game last for forever. But in Prosper, it's got a little more drive. It's got like a whole idea behind it. It does something. It's not just annoying to be annoying.
Yeah,
it is still.
It's still annoying, but
yeah, it is still annoying, but. There's enough of a benefit for me to justify running it, so fuck you guys. Yeah, Possibility Storm, real good. Prosper, way better.
Prosper's real fucking good.
He's like so good.
Yeah.
Out of all the precons, he has to be one of the better precon decks that was put out in a long time, I think. I've lost track of how many sets it's been since then, and I think it's been a lot.
Oh god, it probably has been, hasn't it?
Oh my god,
Christ.
If we got the number on that, it'd be disgusting.
Oh,
Listener Winston, if you want to just drop it in there, let me know.
Yeah, let us know in the comments down below.
Anderson might. Please, Anderson, let us know.
Anderson, let us know if you know.
If you're listening. I'm trying to not... I'm really trying to, like, monitor my own levels.
It's fine. I'll figure it. I didn't do, like, any fucking regulation of that last time. Anyway. Wait.
That's it?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think it's been 9. Oh my god. 9 standard sets?
Holy shit. Well, and 2 reprint sets, right?
And then we've had,
and Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate, we've had, does Infinity count? I'm not counting Infinity.
Oh my god.
Double Masters 2022. We've had Dominussy Remastered. We've had fucking Modern Horizons 2 was before.
Yep.
Forgotten Realms, so
that's it. It's Infinity, Dominussy Remastered, Double Masters, and Baldur's Gate.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
11 sets. 7 standard. Holy shit.
Oh my god.
That's so much. Wizards. I don't know. We haven't really talked about it in a few episodes, but what the fuck?
Yeah, but really though, what the fuck? Mark Rosewater, I know you're listening.
Yeah.
Call me. We gotta talk.
Yeah. We can work on our issues. We can work it out, dude. Just let me know.
Yeah.
Let me know what? I don't know.
I don't know. Well, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, just let me know. Cool. Are we ready to go to the sideboard?
Oh, yes. I forgot about the sideboard. Yeah, I'm ready.
What? Sideboard is when we talk about shit that's not magic. Unless we want to talk about magic more. But usually it's not. So,
what do you have for the sideboard?
No, I ask you first. That's how this always goes.
No, no.
Oh, fuck. You know why I said that? Because I don't have anything. I'm jacked this week. I need a second. What do you got?
You know, I I did have something. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I can talk about that on the sideboard. That'll work. I don't remember what it was. So
I got one.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and talk about your shit?
All right, we're going to talk about Vox Machina Season 2. And I know, like, every episode I'm slowly revealing how much more of a nerd I am. If you ever listen to Critical Role or watch Critical Role, they're like a D&D play group. They have their own show now, I guess. I don't know anything about Critical Role. I just know this show. I've been in a really weird fantasy rut lately, so it's an animated show, D&D characters essentially. They have different campaigns. They're on season 2. It's pretty good. You know, it's a little edgelordy sometimes. Like they just swear like a little too much, which is crazy for me to say that when we swear constantly. But yeah, I don't know. I like it. It's fun. It's interesting. Holy shit, I have to piss. Yeah, Vox Machina is pretty good. Wow, that was needed. Cool. So what do you
feel better now, or
empty? Yeah, for sure. I don't feel like I'm about to explode.
Empty
I don't
in a good way.
I don't know why I'm such a child about that. It's just I get distracted because I'm talking about cool stuff, and then I just keep putting it off, and then suddenly I have to pee feverishly.
Feverishly.
But what do you got for your sideboard, buddy?
Yeah, I got nothing.
Cool.
I don't do things. Anyway, thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. If you want to follow us on socials, please do. We are Magic on Tap on everything. YouTube,
Everything.
Instagram, Untapped. If you follow us on Untapped, you'll see our reviews. We just give everything 5 stars and make it into a magic card.
Hell yeah.
Because Untapped's a joke. But that's all we got for you. Thanks. Are you going to say anything or no?
No,
You just said fuck all these guys? Fuck all these listeners. There's at least 2 people that listen to this, and you aren't even going to say bye to them?
What?
Wow.
Hold on.
Wow.
Thanks for listening. Does that sound sincere?
Yeah, that sounds great. Thanks for listening, and behold your inevitable defeat.